does look good in his late 30s, looking fresh, looking like he's still intact, is a common point that you had in Terence Crawford. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I figured that's what you're talking about. Yeah, Terence is certainly, like, I know personally, I didn't know very many fighters outside of myself, and it was probably only because of my dad that was really trying to connect this science to what we were doing. And I know that there's other fighters doing it now. Terence has been doing that for quite some time. And when you look at where he's at right now, I understand, I'm going record for saying this, I understand that people see he's connected to Victor Conte. I was connected to Victor Conte. You never saw me pop for anything. You will never see Terence pop for anything because Terence ain't that kind of person, first and foremost. Nor was I, and he's not that kind of athlete, neither am I. But what Victor Conte will do is he'll make sure that you get the best supplements, the supplements that are legal, that will help your body and help your mind become optimal. And he's been doing that now for quite a few years. So he's definitely outlived me in the ring, and I'm looking forward to what he's gonna do with Canelo. Should that fight, happen in September?
And obviously, we have a huge fight at 154. Madrimov taking on Virgil Ortiz Jr. Obviously, you gave us classics. You and the guys at the welterweight division gave us classics, fights that we still remember to this day.
Yeah.
What do they have to do to give us those kinds of fights?
I think that Madrimov and Ortiz is going to be a classic fight because of the style. Ortiz is not like Terence. Terence is like, this is what I need to do to beat you, and this is what I'm going to do, right? So then when Madrimov doesn't give him what he wants, Terence stays focused on what I need to do to get this done. And it was Terence being who he is naturally. He's a natural counterpuncher that will take the aggressive route when he sees his fighter in a position that he can and should do that. Madrimov never gave him that. The difference with Virgil Ortiz is Virgil is a offensive, power punching, I'm coming to get it kind of guy, and that just plays into the hands of a Madrimov who I don't think any of us knew was as smart and as tactical as he is until we saw him in the ring with Terence. I actually have him beating Virgil Ortiz on fight night.
Ooh.
I think that styles make fights, and I think that he's got the style plus the talent plus the abilities and everything that's needed to beat Virgil Ortiz. I could be wrong, and it's styles make fights. The other side of that is Virgil has a style that can beat a Madrimov. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm going record for saying this. After this fight, people are gonna say, "Oh, that was a better fight than Terence and Madrimov." Well, styles make fights,
right.
And this fight is gonna prove that. Yeah. So it's which style is better, and I think fight night Madrimov is gonna be better.
What was your prediction before that Madrimov and Terence fight, and what were your thoughts on the fight afterwards?
I didn't really have a prediction. I was doing research week of the fight, because I was broadcasting it. Probably wouldn't have done any research at all if I wasn't broadcasting it. And I did see that Madrimov had a good jab, and I did see that he was going to the body and being, kind of aggressive and in your face, but not overly aggressive and things like that. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be a good fight. Terence could be in some trouble if this guy, is as aggressive as but he didn't do that. And I'm willing to bet if he could go back and redo it, he would make adjustments and find ways to be more aggressive. If he was more aggressive, I think that if he was more aggressive in rounds, you definitely would have been able to give him more rounds than I gave him. I think I had that fight like 10-2 or 9-3, and everybody felt that I was crazy for saying that. I mean, I remember leaving ringside, and I'm walking to the other part of, to do the broadcast. And I got, media guys, yo, what you think? And I was like, he won. What are you talking about? They're like, I don't know. I'm like, how do you not know? So that's 10-2.
You feel like Terence won 9-3?
I was like, that was 10-2, 9-3 easily. They were like, SP, you tripping? I'm like, and then I don't remember what the cards were, but I think they reflected like a 10-2, 9-3 or something like that. So.
Yeah, I think a lot of people felt it was a trickier fight for Terence, but I think and a lot of people, some people said Madrimov won, other people said Terence won comfortably.
y'all look at my fight with Terence. I think the first 6 rounds, I might have been up 4-2 or something like that. And it was because Terence didn't expect me to come in with that. He's seen me do it before, but he didn't think I was going to do that against him. And it took him some rounds to figure it out, you know, and he found a hole in my game. Terence is that kind of guy where he's patient enough. He knows what he needs to do. But if he prepares for one thing, you come to the ring and do something different, that I know what it was that night. That night, he knew he had to impress. And he knew that, you know, if you know Terence's style, he's trying to line up that straight left, you know. And he got to a point where that became, I gotta have this firework at the end of the night. And that's what he was stuck on. He won't make that kind of mistake against a Canelo Alvarez. And again, you know, coming to the ring, I don't think he expected Madrimov to have this counter-punching style that he came to the ring with, you know.
In your fight, people always say to beat a guy like a Terence or to beat, you know, some of these elite guys, you have to have the fight of your life. I think you were having the fight of your life in that fight with Terence. A lot of people had you up.
I was having the boxing match of my life. Yeah, I was boxing very well. And I think that, you know, how do you say it? Like I was out there. I went out there doing what I knew I had to do. And then there became a time for me to make an adjustment, and I didn't make that adjustment. Simple as that.
If you could make that adjustment or you could do that over again, what would you do differently?
Be more aggressive.
Okay.
Yeah, be more aggressive. Simple as that. You know, I think, you know, even at that point, I was in a different, definitely in a different mental space than I've been in practically all of my fights. But I think even physically, you know, I wasn't exactly where I needed to be physically to some of the ailments one of the ailments that I did have, and I think that played a major role in it too. So.
In that fight with Terence, with Errol, there's always that will. There's always that fight of will. We see that a lot in you. We saw that a lot in Errol.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
I think it comes from I gotta take this. This will be the last one.
Sure.
I think it comes from everything, man. It's like, I think it starts with like the upbringing, but even before the upbringing, you know, it goes back to what we were saying previously about our fathers. You know what I mean? Like it comes from where we come from, who we are as a person, as a people. And I could kind of speak for Errol a lot like myself. Like Errol didn't grow up in the streets, but he knew what the streets were. I never grew up in the streets, but I knew what the streets were. You know, Errol was a big competitor in sports, and I was a big competitor in sports. So, you know, when you see him getting up off the canvas against Terence, you feel the defeat, you feel the embarrassment, but you're not willing to let this moment go. You know what I mean? So it's a lot that goes into it. You can't really point out, you know, what it is, but I think it first and foremost starts with like who we are. You know, that blood that's in our veins, like real talk. Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask you 2 questions. One more. I'm sure you said this on the other channel, but so you can share with our audience. What was your prediction before the Terence Crawford Errol Spence fight? Obviously, you fought both these guys, and were you surprised that was the outcome of that fight?
I'm on record for answering both of those questions. But you want me to say it on your platform? I had that fight 50-50. I didn't know, styles make fights, and it was like his style against his, you know, blah, blah, blah. After the first round, I was pretty sure of what could happen. And the moment it happened, I said it's a wrap. And when Errol walked back to the corner, it was the second round, he got knocked down in. When he walked back to the corner, I'm standing up and I'm just looking at his body language walking back to the corner, and I saw the embarrassment, you know, and I saw the surprise, like the damn, like that just happened, right? He sits down and he gets back up and he's bouncing, and I could just see it like he's trying to move past that moment. That's an interception, you know what I mean? You got to move past that moment, and I think that he was still a little shook up. I had faith in him because I know Errol, right? So I was like, no, he's past it. And when he got dropped, when he comes out in that third round and it's just not going the way it's supposed to go, I said, yo, that separation is happening very, very quickly. I didn't expect it to happen as quick as it did. But I knew after that first round, I knew what Terence had set up. He capitalized on it in the second round, and I didn't expect him to capitalize on it like that. And then it just kind of ended up going the way it went,
Hey, and final question for Riyadh season. I can't ask predictions for all 7 fights, too many, but let me ask you predictions of the 3 most intriguing ones. I'll start with Virgil Ortiz versus Madrimov. Who do you think wins that fight and how?
Madrimov decision.
Hey, all right. The other one is the late replacement, Bacolic. That's official now. Bacolic taking Joseph Parker. Who wins that fight and how?
Bacoli wins.
Decision. Okay. And this is the one. This is the main event. The one for all the marbles, undisputed championship. Bivol versus Beterbiev. Before you give me your prediction, tell me how you saw that first fight. Who won and how?
I had Bivol win in the first fight. I don't remember the point. I don't remember. I might have had it like 7-5 or something like that. It was a super close fight. I had Bivol winning. Bivol is gonna lose this rematch by knockout.
Ooh, do you feel like Beterbiev is 100% now? There you go.
He was 100% in the first one.
Ooh, okay. I felt like he was like 80%, but that's just eye test. Yeah. Awesome. Shawn Porter, thank you for your time. Caught you here in the airport. We had to get it. Final message to the fight fans that are very appreciative of everything you did in the sport. They love your commentary. They're still, putting on.
Listen, if y'all made it this far, I don't know how y'all made it this far because I don't know why I made it this far. This is like an hour interview, but we got like 3 more hours until we get out of town. So, man, I just want to say thank you guys for always supporting the Porterway podcast, supporting Showtime Shawn Porter. Got a lot going on, a lot coming up. Bigger and better is what I've been saying from day one, and we on our way. So just keep looking out, man. Keep supporting, and appreciate you guys, man. Honestly, I do.
Hey, I appreciate it. Ciao.
You got it, boss.